show. It's that time, y'all. It's Madco Fabs time. It's time to do a little workity work on the truckity truck. Now, with that being said, we got the Simpsons on the TV like usual. Gotta have something to work to, a little bit of soundy sound. All right, so the truck. Got a license plate bracket up, tail lights, fuel cell, everything's starting to look good. Ran some lights down there, and got in some dimple dyes to do some dimple dye work. Check these things out right here. Ooh la la, ooh la la la, wah la. Got metal laying on the floor. It's the best place to keep it from getting rusty and flat. You know, I want to keep it flat. So, why am I showing you the metal and the dimple dyes? Well, you guys, I was sitting back looking at this here truck, and I was thinking to myself, how do we make it look sick? How do we make it look cool? How do I give it that rat rod hoon thing? You know, like Hoonigan meets rat rod meets Baja or some bullshit. Hell, I don't know. So, the original plan was to do a piece of steel here, a piece of steel here, and a piece of steel here with some dimple dye work. You know, kind of bring the wing into it, and then a visor, blah, blah. Well, this is what happened. I was sitting there looking at it. I was surfing the Googles for some ideas on how to do like a rat rod Tacoma kind of thing. And because rat rods are by all my favorites. So I got to looking at the Googles on how to do a rat rod, how to do some custom stuff. And guys, I found on Facebook Marketplace this. So I messaged the guy to see if, or I had a friend of mine message the guy to see if it was still for sale. Hey Wyatt, say hi. Yep, that's enthusiasm, guys, enthusiasm. I messaged the guy to see if it was still for sale, and the guy, I guess, said yes to my buddy, because I don't have Facebook. I don't believe in social media. I know, YouTube. But, long story short, my homie pulls in the driveway the next day with that. Surprised me with it. So, that means it's got to go on the truck. So, first things first, we got to strip the panels off the sides, because that's all we need. We don't need the floor, we don't need the center, we don't need that plastic piece. And she seems to be in all right shape. I mean, she's got some dents and a little bit of rust, which is funny because the first truck bed it came on the truck was like mint. I mean, it's got a little crunch, a little BS, but you guys, it ain't that bad. It really, really ain't that bad. So, you know, what are you doing?
Sport's not wanting to come up.
It's not? Well, I can show you a trick for all that here in a second. We'll get the impact out, take her out, Mad Max style. So, check it out. Let me pull this up and out. Oh, did you get a close enough view there? Sorry, like usual. Look, guys, it's in pretty good shape. So, we're gonna split this thing. Yeah, this ought to be fun. Wish I had a way to set you down, but it is windy as hell out here today. So, let me get this out of the way, and we'll get on with the show and figuring it out. I'm gonna bring you back when I get it all cleaned out and ready to go, and we get that back panel off. Wyatt's just removing the back pieces, taking the bolts out. We're gonna take them out, get this back panel out of our way. We'll get this out of our way and sweep it out, clean it out so I don't get my driveway all nasty. And then probably flip it over, remove all the bolts from the bottom side. That way we can pull these panels off as one piece. And then we'll bring them in here, start setting them against the truck, figuring out what we need to minus, what we don't need to minus, what we need to add, what we don't need to add, blah, 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 blah. You know me, it's gonna look good. Gonna look real good. Thought that it was important that I take a drink of my hibiscus tea on camera. That way everybody knows that I'm actually a human being. Hey, look at that. He's got his safety shades on. We gotta quit using the safety squints. All right, so all the BS hardware is off there, and the back wall is completely gone. Fender flares, wheel well liners, some bracketry, some BS. I popped the pinch weld over here loose, but you know, it is what it is, and I can't see any of the pinch welds because they're too old and shit. So here's what I'm gonna do. All of you that are following along at home, I don't want to spill my tea. See this little faint line right here? Yeah, I'm gonna run that grinder all the way down that damn thing, cut her clean off, get her out of here. That'll leave me this side panel to be able to do whatever I need to do with, which then can be translated over here to do whatever I need to do with. So I just wanted to show you that. You know, I'm not very big on that high speed. All right, so that's one skin off. Now, obviously it doesn't belong right there, but we need that skin off. So now we can do some modifications to this thing. I want to sit on that roll bar right there. Come out, encase that roll bar a little bit. I want to boat tail it so it'll sit. Sorry about the camera view. It'll sit something not as wompy as that, but now we've got that off there. Now we can do some modifications, some work. I think it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So, what do you say we go cut the other side off? That's enthusiasm. That is the definition of enthusiasm. Okay, dokie. There's the two pieces that we needed. There's some of the hardware. That's pretty much it for the night anyway, because it's kind of late. We did a bunch of work out the yard and everything anyway. But there's the bed. Stripped, ripped in half. That way she'll fit in the back of another truck so she can go to the scrap. There we go, fellas. Ladies and gents. So now, we can start figuring out what we want to do at the distance, how to work them, how to clean them up, how to hang them. A lot of work there. A lot of work. But I think my homies is right. I think that's going to make that body look a lot cleaner and kind of fill it up a little bit. So, that's day one. So you're thinking about cutting off your bedside, you say. So you think about doing Baja bedside, you say. So you think it's a good idea, you say, to try to do this, you say. I'll tell you, you say. Check it out. You got a lot to work with. This is kind of overwhelming. We have two options here. We need to get rid of this rust that's here, and we need to get rid of some weight so we can maneuver this thing. We know that this back here, which you can't see because I'm shit with the camera, this back here needs to be shortened this direction. We know that because I don't want this damn thing to be this long. So, you know, it's a little bit rough to work with because it's got so much. You know that you got some work to do is what I'm getting at. You guys, don't be afraid to get out something and make stupid decisions. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for giggles, we just go ahead and eliminate a straight line here. Go ahead and cut all this off. That way I can work that panel. I can get that panel to where I want it and see if we even like this idea. That's the first step. So, wish I had a way to support all this and cut it, which I think I do. And I think I just sliced the hell out of my finger. Oh, yeah, a little cut. It'll be all right. Okay, I got that cut line there, right? That's where I want to make that segment piece. Oh, be right back. Shut your eyes, it's important. So, I'm just going to cut it. Ladies, big girl up on here. I'm going to take this off right here. screw it. So you can see what I mean. This piece right here is in the way of that bar right there. So we're gonna go ahead and just remove this piece right here. Get it out of my way. I gotta cut it down to where I can play with it and look at it. That's just the only option you really got, is you gotta be able to play with it and look at it, you know? Try a little much, but you got it. Yep, something like that. Now I can sit back and stare at it for 20 minutes. Looks like a Saw movie in here right now. Whoa. Okay, so, you know, I held it over there at the truck. Here's what's happening. Like I said, you're gonna play with this stuff for a little bit, trying to figure out how you want to get it to fit and whatnot. This 1.5 inches, obviously, is interfering with this lip right here, this little dent right here, and that step right there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come in. Guys, everything's gonna be different for yourselves too, but I'm gonna remove 1.5 inches there. I'm gonna go 1.5 inches in here, which looks like more than 1.5 inches. Right there should be close. Hell, we'll get the tape out just to check. I'm gonna go here to where it flushes back out, here to where it flushes back out. And then I'm gonna step up into this dent too. I'm gonna go 1.5 inches in, step there because it's flush here. And then I'm gonna come back down and step there. And I'm gonna remove those 3 pieces. That way it'll sit against this tube nice and tight, and I can play with it, look at it. Yeah, I'm gonna play with it and look at it. Dirty, 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 dirty. So, let's see. What did I say, 1.5 inches? Son of a bee's nuts, look at that. That's just, damn, that one's dead on. I was just guessing. See? Oh, I'm off. No, I'm pretty close there too. It's weird. After you do enough of this shit, you can see numbers. Become Rain Man. Semi-professional tip. Take a tape measure how wide your duct tape is, and then take your marker or whatever, or just cut it, rip it, whatever you want to do at your 1.5 inch line. That just happens to be what I'm doing. And then you can take tape and you can literally lay it out on what you're working on, right? Lay it down where you want it and use it as a guide. Well, I mean, maybe when you cut it right. So now I just cut these little sections, and I know that's my 1.5 inches because I use my tape as my guide. Obviously it's not exact, but we're modding panels, guys. It's not going to be exact. But there you go. That's an easy way of just kind of using your guide, or finding what you want to do. I know there's other ways, but that's how I do it, okay? Okay, so you can see that 1.5 inches that I cut off there now gives that bar places to poke out where the body and the panel dived in a little bit, you know? Okay, so next thing is this wonderful little bash bar that I made back here that you all watch me make, and I like it, right? We need to shorten it and get it out of the way, because this bedside thing wasn't originally the original plan. The original plan was to do steel right here, steel up here, and do dimple die effect and make it look all pretty and stuff, and then a panel right there, and do dimple dies and kind of give it a rat rod, hot rod thing. But I kind of dig the way this sets up. I'm kind of liking it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out the Sawzall and cut me a line here and pull this piece off. And then cut me a line here and pull this piece off. Pull that all off there. That way I can boat tail this panel in just a little bit, because she does. She needs to come in, you know, I'm thinking right here-ish. And I think what else I'm going to do is, instead of an 1.5 inch line, I'm going to break me a 2 inch line all the way down this. That way I can take my hammer and work the edge around this pipe, roll bar, whatever the hell. But I think that's the best plan. So let me get on doing that. And then remember, the key here, the real big key here is to either be writing down your measurements, because you got to do it again, or memorize your measurements because you got to do it again, or pray that you that good. I mean, I don't have anything for that last door. I spoke before my brain realized what I was spoken about. So let me do all that. See what I mean? I just get into something and then I forget I have a damn camera. Okay, so we need to roll this edge just a little bit, cut 1.5 inches off of it. This pipe is, I think, 1 7/8 inches or some shit. It's not 1.5 inches. But anyway, I need to roll that edge so I can grab onto that. Notice, you roll this whole edge, you have a contour right here. If you don't do that right, it'll want to pull it straight and it'll make it all look wonky and shit and your lines won't match up. Not that the lines matter on this thing, but you get the idea. So what I did is I went ahead and cut them down to 2 inches, and then I went ahead and cut off this little piece right here. See, minus that. What I'm gonna do now is, like I said, I'm gonna take that over there and I'm gonna roll that edge a little bit to help hold it onto this, and then I'm gonna see how I like everything, and if I do, I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate that onto this piece. That way I don't have any, major discrepancies between the two. And then figure out placement and getting it held in place and all that fun stuff, and then once it's upright, we can figure out welding the ass back on it. And I'm not gonna run a tail light, I'm just gonna bob the end. But I think it'll work. I think it'll look good. Good call, Jacob. Good call. So I'm trying to roll this edge. See this gap? If I just hold this flat and roll this edge, it's gonna wanna hold that panel flat. Now, that fits pretty good. Like I said, now it's time for us to duplicate it. Gotta make it twice. Leave it just like that for a minute or two. Let us get some measurements off of it, transfer it over to this one, and build both sides at one time. I think it'll look good. So I'm still gonna make another panel, but I got carried away cutting that taillight housing out. I was thinking like, less shit on the floor, out of my way. But I might as well show you real quick. It looks like that'll mount up pretty decent. Yeah, just spot weld that damn thing in there, grind it all off. Boom, Bob. Boom, bam, Bob's your uncle. That'll look good. And then you have a little taillight housing back here. And yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get rid of that taillight housing. I don't need another taillight. I got 4 of them. I mean, what the hell? Maybe 2 more wouldn't hurt. Just screw them in. I don't know. Rambling. So seriously, now it's time to take some measurements and cut that other bed and do the same thing. So less BS laying around the garage. So remember, I was saying you gotta duplicate your stuff. See, I got a little ahead of myself, and I don't mind showing you my screw up so you guys don't have to. I started bending this to help hold it around that bar. I wanted it to hold it around that bar. So I started, throwing a little curve to it just kind of so I could look at it, But now I have to go back and match the length on both these panels so they're exactly the same. I know this isn't my final walk, walk up or walk through or whatever the hell. But anyway, I measured the length on that one, and then I added 2 inches because I cut 2 inches off this corner over here. So what I did is I laid my duct tape down at like, I think 51/2. Notice these don't match now. So just in that short amount of time, I cut off, looks like maybe about a 5/8 of an inch or something, and I didn't realize I did it. So now I have to match this and match that and get it perfect. And that's just how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to cut that little bit off and then take that piece of tape off and put a line there and match that one. And hopefully they're pretty close. But that's the shit I'm talking about, you guys. You got to watch. You got to watch what you're doing. Bam! Just like that. We have a left and a right, or maybe a right and a left. I don't really know. But I even took the edges off so I don't lose my fingertips or fingers. I haven't done this one yet. But anyway, you guys get the idea. So there's one side, there's the other side. Now I'm gonna gut this piece over here and gut all that out like I did the other one so I can be down to this. Because I need that to do the
with the cheese and a brioche bun.
The complex ends of them that go here. So,
Double stacked cheeseburger.
you guys, it's not hard. You just gotta pay attention to what you're doing and work your way through it. But there we go. That'll look. I think that's gonna be, you know, pretty much the end of this one. Next episode will be getting them up in the air, kind of getting them where we want them, doing things that we want to do with them. And then be looking forward to a video with the Kodiak out there. We're getting stacks on it. But that's, like I said, that's the end of this Tacoma one. I just wanted to show you the bedsides and what we're doing with it. So there ain't nothing to it but to do it right, and do it right the first damn time. And I have a new Instagram. I'm starting that up. Get that all together so people can see more pictures and stuff. But I'm not tech savvy. That's why my videos suck. And I don't like cameras. So, you know, kind of fighting the odds here. Thank you all. Like, comment, subscribe. Good night.